In our feature segment today, Farmweek's Amy Taylor reports on a South Mississippi cattle farm with a unique story that proves innovative ideas can pay off with the proper planning and resources.
Artists at Stonnington Farm in Perkinston, the owners and ranch staff have tapped into a niche market by providing beef products from grass-fed cattle. Owner Michael Stonnington says feeding exclusively grass instead of grain provides an alternative beef product that's healthy without sacrificing flavor. With help from the Mississippi State University Extension Service, the farm developed a system based on responsible family farming. At first glance, Stonnington Farm in Perkinston, Mississippi doesn't look much different from most well-managed cattle operations, but many aspects of the farm might surprise you. For example, the owner, Michael Stonnington, isn't only a cattle farmer. He's also an orthopedic surgeon who served in the United States Air Force, finishing at the rank of lieutenant colonel. Stonnington was actually born in Australia, and when he was a young child, his father's medical career brought the family to the U.S. Fast forwarding to present day, Dr. Stonnington is now a surgeon and partner at Hattiesburg Bone and Joint who can talk cattle with his patients.
When they first meet me, and if they don't know anything about me, they assume that I have a farm, and then I just visit it every now and then. And then when they find out that I actually live on the farm and it's a working farm, they're quite shocked. But generally, most of my patients know that I'm a cattle farmer. We talk about the techniques we use to get the most out of our grass, and we also talk about what kind of cows we have and why we like one over the other.
Dr. Stonnington decided to begin cattle farming after Hurricane Katrina destroyed all the timber on the property. To the casual observer, it seems simple to just clear out the fallen trees, grow some grass, and add cattle. But there's much more to the process, and that's where Mississippi State University Extension Service agent Brad Jones comes in.
I guess the main thing that I feel like we've been able to help the Stonningtons a lot with the last few years, you know, they've taken a lot of this place that was in pine trees and they've cleared it out, got it back into pasture, and are trying to do a proper job maintaining their fertilization programs, being under weed control, making their own hay in the summertime, and we've made a lot of recommendations to help make those programs more efficient with them. Spend a lot of time with them going over their soil sample results, doing some weed ID and discussing with them some spray programs to help control those areas.
Furthermore, Jones says Mississippi is blessed with healthy, nutritious forages, so raising grass-fed beef is encouraged. Dr. Stonnington says lots of research generated the decision to exclusively feed grass, and he's happy with the results.
The health benefits are, I think, unquestionable. What a lot of people don't realize is that grass-fed cows, they have a fat content that is a much more healthy profile. They have higher omega-3 fatty acids. They have higher conjugated linoleic acid, which is CLA you might read about in articles. And they can be heart healthy and help prevent disease. The vitamin profile in the beef is better, and it's very similar in fat content to chicken breasts. And contrary to what a lot of people might think is that the flavor of the beef is gamey, that is just not true. If you raise your grass-fed cattle on good pastures, you're going to get a very flavorful beef. In fact, there's some studies that show that people chose grass-fed flavor over grain-fed flavor.
Dr. Stonnington says his medical background is instrumental in managing a healthy herd, and he does his best to use natural methods.
We do use vaccines and do use wormers, but we don't use any antibiotics. And that's why we're natural. Natural meaning that I do use certain things that I think are important for the health of the animal. If an animal is sick, and I've determined that they do need an antibiotic, then that animal is treated, because I don't want an animal to suffer. So that animal will be treated with an antibiotic, but then it's going to be culled from the program.
Furthermore, Extension Agent Brad Jones says using forage-based systems can bring economic benefits to producers like Dr. Stonnington.
That's a niche market that we see a lot of growth in the last few years as we see more urbanization, I guess is a proper word, in Hattiesburg and along our coastal areas, along the Mississippi coast, New Orleans and Mobile. We're close tie to all those areas. And there is a niche market there that really seems to be growing, and if it's there, we need to be capitalizing on that as farmers. There's some premiums to be seen.
In addition, Dr. Stonnington talks about where you can find Stonnington Farm products.
We market through Corner Market, which is a grocery store in Hattiesburg area, and it's fresh. It's not been frozen. It's been dry aged for 2 weeks. We do all cuts. We have an internet website, stoningtonfarm.com. On that site, it tells how we market to individuals, and the individuals get all the cuts as well. And it's vacuum packed, and the vacuum packing that we use can actually last up to 2 years in the freezer, and then 21 days in the refrigerator.
In addition to Corner Market, Stonnington burgers are on the restaurant menu at Keg and Barrel in Hattiesburg, and products have been available at Purple Parrot and the Hattiesburg Train Depot for special events. Dr. Stonnington's wife, Katie, manages the marketing and business end.
I've learned to appreciate salespeople that need to go out and try to push whatever product they have, because you've got nothing to really go on until you're established. And I think the turning point was getting our meat in the Corner Market, where it got exposed, people ate it, they knew that it was a very good product. That was the best part, but it was tough. We were calling people up, restaurants, point blank, asking them, telling them about our product, and they really knew nothing about it.
Katie Stonnington says her favorite aspect of the farm is knowing it provides the community with safe, locally grown products. Furthermore, Dr. Stonnington talks about challenges in the business.
The weather can be the most difficult thing about raising grass-fed cattle. When we have a drought, I cannot feed grain, so I can't supplement with grain, and so I have to figure out what to do. And so a lot of what I supplement with is alfalfa pellets, and these alfalfa pellets are expensive, so they really cut into my revenue. But I got to do what's right for the cattle.
The Stonnington family and full-time ranch staff believe in managing a healthy, stress-free herd. They handle the cattle daily and simply use voice commands to gather the herd for pasture rotation. Dr. Stonnington's daughter, Grace, and son, Christian, talk about their roles at the farm.
A few times every month we vaccinate the cows, and then usually on the weekends I usually work out. I do stuff on the farm. My dad and I, and some of my brothers, we ride around and we work the cows, we move them into different fields. Some of the fields get eaten down pretty fast by the cows, and so we have other fields that weren't used by the cows. And so once the other fields were, were eaten by the cows, or most of the grass is gone, then we move them to another field.
I cut hay, I fluff hay, I drag fields, I drag seeds in. I sometimes spread out lime, and I spread seeds out, and I halter break calves for showing, and I put hay out. I work herds of cows. I vaccinate them. I move cows with my dad.
Additionally, Christian shows livestock in 4-H, exhibiting cattle raised at the farm. In the future, the Stonnington Farm family hopes to continue providing healthy, locally grown products at more locations in the state. From Perkinston, Mississippi, I'm Amy Taylor reporting. You can watch this story on Stonnington Farm on our Farmweek website, Facebook page, or YouTube. Our website address is farmweek.msucares.com. We'll also be available at twitter.com/farmweek. We'll also have links and contact information for you to get in touch with Stonnington Farm.